Homicide was the best case I ever done. Never cared much about the vice, or anything. Anything at all. Oh. Hello there, sweetheart. My name's Detective Humphrey Bogart. And today, Mr. Multi-Voice Reviewer here decided not to review this, but make my appearance here to review this sort of video game. Now, this is not like any other video game at all. No, sir. You see, this is a video game I'm going to review to you today. Is LA Noire. It's a mystery film noir video game. If some of you remember how the film noir movies are, they'll always be about crime, and the style always been suits and hats, and of course cops and detectives always wear trench coats, like I do. And of course, one thing you should learn, that every time when crime has happened, there'll always be a PI who always solves the case. Either a cop or a PI. That's how the whole mystery thing goes, sweetheart. But of course, let me tell you about this case here. LA Noire. In this game, it's not like any other game before. It was created by Rockstars, the same company who does those LA Noire, who made those Grand Theft Auto video games. You know, those very violent one that turn you into a gangster. But on LA Noire, it's a lot more different. You play a policeman who goes by the name of Cole Phelps. Now, Cole Phelps, he is a veteran during World War II, battling against those Japanese. And after the war was over, he came home and decided to go to LA to become a policeman. Now, of course, little that many people know, that LA is overrun by crooked politicians. He should be better off as a PI, like I am. Indeed. But one thing I heard about this video game, you start yourself off as a walking beat cop. You know, the one who walks up and down the streets. And then all of a sudden you become traffic cop. And then you promoted yourself as a public cop. And then you promote yourself into homicide. And after you're done with the homicide cases, and then you work in the vice. And of course you be partner up with some fancy vice cop who is very crooked. I never like him anyway. And then after you've gone through your cases with the vice, sooner or later your partner's going to stab you right in the back. And it turns out that you're going to be demoted to arson. You'll be solving cases about burning houses, where everything has been set on fire. And it takes a little trip down memory lane of how it was in the war. Meet some people. And of course, there is a guy who goes by the name of Jack Kelso, who's not exactly Cole Phelps' friend, but he was there during the war. He's not exactly a police officer, but he's a house inspector. You know, the type who always figured out if some things are fraud or not. And as it turns out, his boss is crooked, and so is the rest of the politicians in LA. And as it turns out, that there was a lot of people selling houses from pieces of wood it's easy to break. They don't last long. So it's up to Jack Kelso and also Cole Phelps to figure out who is involved in this entire mystery. Now, I wouldn't spoil away the endings, but it's a pretty surprising ending. Even I couldn't even figure this whole thing out at all, sweetheart. And of course, throughout the entire mystery, you have to be a lot more careful to know what to do. Because one thing that's really interesting about the game, it's motion activated. They have all the actors playing the characters, and they videotape their faces so they can get their facial expressions when you ask them questions. And of course, you have 3 options. One option is truth, denial, and lies. And of course, when you hit the lie pot, you gotta find evidence to prove that they're lying. And if you get enough points, you'll be good enough as a detective, like me. And of course, there's a lot of driving involved, so you better collect a bunch of fancy cars in the 40s and also drive them around throughout the streets. You know, I should have given up smoking, sweetheart. Anyway, this game is pretty awesome. It gives you the entire experience of what it's like in the 40s. And there's a lot of bizarre cases. And also, there's also one in particular cases, that pretty much involves the Black Day case. And if some of you remember the Black Day case, you might know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, that's one thing to become a PI, you know, ladies and gentlemen. When you're a PI, gotta have a gun with you. Because you never know, there's some gangsters trying to fire at you. Anyway, get yourself LA Noire. It's the most inspirational from noir movie ever made. And of course, I'm going through this video game manual to see what I can get throughout the rest of all this. And I say I have been through a lot lately. Anyway, if any of you have a PS3 or an Xbox or maybe a Wii, if they made the game for Wii, get yourself LA Noire. It is the most inspirational game ever made. Gives you the whole entire feeling of what it's like to be a cop in LA. After all those crooked politicians and all that. I am not, and even though you think I look like Inspector Gadget, I am not. I'm Detective H. Bogart. Now, if you excuse me, I got a case to solve. Sometimes you never know. So, here's looking at you, kid. This is gonna be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. See ya.